Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ma'at hotep. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. My name is Vicki Dillard, and I'm a very proud contributor right here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated women just like you. We are here to do a special early edition again of the Vicki Show. I know one of the other queens just came on before me and went live, but we have a special show that we're going to be doing for you on our FlyNubianQueen.com Facebook channel. So meet us on Facebook at 3 p.m. Eastern, where we're going to be remembering the name of our now ancestors. We're going to say the name of the slain here shortly. 3 p.m. Eastern on FlyNubianQueen.com on Facebook. But meanwhile, Black family, I'm here on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. So Instagram, please get ready to come on over Instagram to FlyNubianQueenTV.com for a special edition of the Vicki Show today. Thank you so much. As you come in, family, please come in giving us the thumbs up, thumbs up. Be sure to like, be sure to share. Depending on where you're watching us from today, please make sure that you also share on that particular platform as well. We would certainly appreciate it. I want to briefly discuss with you today the cover-up that's going on right now concerning our brother George Floyd's autopsy. I want to connect some dots in a very, very brief Vicki Show today. As I just mentioned, I'm going to be preparing for another show that I'm going to be doing on a panel with some other queens here in just a moment. So I just want to do a brief show. So please come in liking, sharing, and subscribing. We know right now that no notifications have gone out, but that's okay. I believe at the right time, the right people will hear this broadcast. How many of you all know that the original DA on the case of our brother George Floyd, during a press conference some days ago, threw doubts into the minds of America, the American people, to make us believe that there was a chance, and frankly, a very viable chance, that they would not get a conviction. It appeared that those that are responsible for getting justice in our name, those that you pay with your very Black tax dollars, they seem to be officially and unofficially conspiring against us. Some of you all know that this is nothing new in America, but we still need to talk about it. It's important that we discuss it because we're going to shine the light and expose the goings on in secret of our open enemy against us. And we're going to push back, and we're going to demand strong, swift punishment. We need to start using the word punishment. Somebody say punishment of our open enemy. Law enforcement does not need better training. Why, Vicki? Because we're finding that when you look at the numbers, when you look at the statistics, they're not killing white people. They're not engaging with white people like they do us. Somebody talk Black to me, or we're holding court today on the Vicki Show at FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Come on over Instagram right now to FlyNubianQueenTV.com. Shout out to my dear sister, Sharice Fleming. I got your book, Queen. I'm so thankful for it. Thank you for sending it to me. And shout out to my other Black family. Come on over, FlyNubianQueenTV.com. We're getting ready to talk about very briefly our open enemy in this instance. Listen while I post this. Listen. We're going to continuously expose this enemy that constantly and openly lies, and they are doing it in government. They are lying officially and unofficially. I'm going to break that down here in just a minute. as I put this, as I post this very quickly, as I invited my Instagram family to come on over, family, keep giving us a thumbs up, liking, and sharing. By the way, you can follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Do not forget, Black family. Do not forget that we are still in a very important time. What time is it, Black family? We cannot afford to be operating in this season without understanding how to tell time. Did you hear what I just said? And I'm not just talking about chronological time. I'm really talking about chronos time. Is that right? There's another type of time. Chronos is like chronological time. It's the one that you tell time on your watch with those regular digits, not just being limited to it, I should say. I don't want us to be limited to just chronological time. I'm talking about prophetic time that we're in. What time is it, Black family? This is the time of our birthing. The pain that we're in, these are labor pains. We're building a new world based on freedom, justice, and equality. The powers that shouldn't be, the status quo is going out. Their world is ending and our world is just beginning. That's what these are, labor pains. Somebody say labor pains. Don't you ever forget it. Our open enemy should be afraid. They're scared to death. That's why they're talking to Black folk about reconciliation, forgiveness, and why you're seeing all these different multicultural people trying to stand with us. Yes, there are some that know that what they're doing is wrong. So some of them may mean well, but a lot of them are doing it because they know they're in trouble. And they know that by hanging on to us, they're hoping that that lessens or mitigates the punishment that they will surely experience. These are labor pains. It's bad for our open enemy. It's bad news for white supremacy, but it's good news for Black folk. This pain is going to produce something amazing. Somebody talk Black to me. Somebody talk Black to me. Now let's get ready to get into it, because I've got a short amount of time and I just barely posted this just a few minutes ago. And like I said, no worries. We know no notifications came out. Someone went live before me just a little bit ago. But again, at the right time, the right people will hear this broadcast. In the meantime, you can help us by giving us the thumbs up, liking, and sharing. Thank you so very much, Black family. Do you know that you are really helping to elevate our voices? Because we're not just on this particular platform you're watching us on. We're on several other platforms, Black family, and we're making a difference. We are excited, yes, about the masses of people that we have the potential to reach each week. But we are most excited. I am most excited about the quality of people, meaning that if I am influencing, if I am informing, if I am empowering my people to build a new world, if I am triggering saviors and a messianic spirit to arise in our people, then that's what matters. Some of the people, I was talking to someone earlier today, communicating with someone earlier today, and one of the things that they were discussing with me is they were talking about certain ratchet elements of society that seem to be prospering. Are you hearing me? They were talking about certain elements of our society, the Donald Trump types, the Cardi B types, and other ratchets and rodents that seem to be prospering on social media. And some of you who are Black are supporting some of these individuals, these entities. And I was sharing with that individual, I said, you know what? The God is allowing these different camps to exist because he is separating the wheat from the tares. I need somebody Black to talk Black to me. He's allowing those different camps to exist because when it goes down, it will be clear exactly what side you're on, who you are supporting, Black family, what you're supporting. So I don't worry about those ratchet elements that seem to be successful. They won't exist. They won't even be thriving in the new world. Lord have mercy. Do you understand that because they have the Cardi B's of the world, the Donald Trump ratchet, low life, lower forms of life that exist in the earth plane, don't you know, Black family, that the very reason that God is having to undo the world, redo the world, set the world on course is because there are so many of them? But there is a holy axiom. There is a divine word that says that the hell's highway is broad, but the righteous way is narrow. There's not a lot of people that's worried about doing it the way we're doing it. I need somebody Black to talk Black to me. That's the very reason why we're having to introduce a new world. That's the reason why God is setting all of these different sects and tribes on fire. Remember, fire exists to not only destroy, but to do what? But to purify. No low form of life, no ratchet on social media can take credit for Vicky. You didn't have nothing to do with this newness. Somebody talk Black to me. And some of you still need to go to ratchet rehab because some of you are drawn to madness. The reason why those individuals thrive is because you support them, you cash app them, you PayPal them, you subscribe to them, you give them numbers, and then you come over here with an all the way, for real, all the way goddess, God today. I don't have no foreign kind of influence in my body makeup. You legitimize our open enemy. And as a fully melanated Black woman, you come over here asking me questions about people that have openly attacked me or openly threatened me. Bless your heart. I don't want to have nothing to do with you no way. Gideon's army was small. Gideon didn't need a lot of people. He just needed effective people. He just needed the right people. We're not going to get caught up in the madness of lower forms of life. Just like the Donald Trump group. People can't believe millions and millions of people follow Donald Trump on Twitter. They can't believe that millions and millions of people believes his lies. That's why God has to redo the world. That's the reason why the ancestors are involved. Let them go in those different camps. Let them look like they're thriving for a minute, Black family. It's going to make it easier to know who's who. Somebody talk Black to me. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, Black family. My name is Vicky Diller. Yes, we are live and direct for an early special edition of the Vicky Show. Let's get ready to get into our topic today. This is what I posted earlier today. I just thought I would put that out there. This is what I posted earlier today on my Instagram page. When I say earlier, I mean an hour ago. I posted it the last minute, Black family, because I went early today. Watch this. Do you all see this? What I put is the county medical examiner lied to cover up George Floyd's murder. How many of you all know that there was an original autopsy that was done by the medical examiner's office? They are charged with speaking and telling the truth, giving us the facts. But instead, they call themselves massaging the facts, which means that they are lying. That's just a fancy word for lying. And they're doing it officially using governmental emblems and insignias and fancy stationery and paperwork. And they come out doing press conferences, and you pay them as public servants to lie to you, to prosecute you, and to murder you. Shout out to you, Xavier, for your gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. She says, keep speaking to spirits, Queen. Thank you, beloved. That's exactly what I'm doing. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. My assignment is different from everybody else's. I'm not just here for entertainment. I'm here to speak to the dry bones. I'll deal with that later. I have a very strategic and a narrow assignment. I don't compare my existence and what I do to lower forms, these little rodents and ratchets and Cardi B spirits that's running rampant. Somebody talk black to me. Thumbs up, black family. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. My name is Vicky Dillard. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. We just did back-to-back shows right now. And I want to talk to you about this article. I also put in the description box, I said, the cover-up is underway. Thank God the new black media is exposing these official and unofficial liars. Official and unofficial liars. Official and unofficial liars. Now I'm going to first deal with, let me pull this one up because I pulled a few, as you all know, I always go through a few different articles before I bring certain things to you. This particular one I want to read to you is from CBS, Minnesota, CBSlocal.com. I want to read to you from their publication before I go further. Listen to this. It says 2 autopsies released in George Floyd's death from Hennepin, County, an independent group. So that's the county that we're discussing in Minneapolis, right? It says, the attorney representing George Floyd's family says the findings of an independent autopsy have determined that Floyd died of asphyxiation from sustained pressure. However, the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's final autopsy report contains more information from toxicology reports. Now listen to this madness. Shout out to you, D2, for your gift. He says, God bless you, my gracious queen. Ignore the lower forms of life. I know that's right, beloved. I sure do. I definitely ignore the forms of life. And I want my people to do the same. It's up to us to start creating a new world based on freedom, justice, and equality. See, when people eat off of a lot of junk food and madness, they get addicted to that. They thrive and they long for that more than they do what's good and what's right. And unfortunately, it's 20 and 30 and 40 and 50 and 60-year-old people supporting that madness. And that is the very reason, like I just said, God is having to bring a new world order. That's the reason he's doing that, black family. So listen, watch this. According to a statement, Ben Crump revealed the results of the autopsy performed by medical examiners, Dr. Michael Baden and Dr. Alicia Wilson, and called for charges against fired MPD officer Derek Chauvin to be amended to first-degree murder. How many of you all know that the charges have been increased, but to second degree, and all of the other officers have also since been charged, right? Now listen, the reason this is important is because the original autopsy that's done by public servants who are supposed to be doing what they do in the interest of the people, that's you. Those are your black dollars. They lied. And they are involved right now in an official cover-up. Watch this. Crump said the autopsy determined that sustained pressure on the right side of Floyd's carotid artery, impeded blood flow to the brain, and weight on his back impeded his ability to breathe. He added that the 2 medical examiners determined that having handcuffs on and his position impaired the ability for his diaphragm to function. They also said it appears he died on the scene. Watch this. What we found is consistent with what people saw. There is no other health issue that could cause they messed up the wording here. That should be the cause of, to contribute to the death. That wording is not right. This is how it's written though. Police have this false impression that if you can talk, you can breathe. That's not true, Baden said. Crump also called for the other 3 officers involved in the incident to be, Crump also called for the other officers to be arrested, which we know since then they have been. Watch this. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office says that the matter of death is homicide and listed, listen to what your open enemy said. Your open enemy that's represented by the county executives, the county examiner's office, right? Watch this. Watch this. It says that the medical examiner's office says that the matter of death is homicide and listed as a cause of death, cardiopulmonary arrest, complicating law enforcement subdual, restraint, and neck compression. Now listen to all these fancy medical words that they're throwing in here to throw you off. Their report also listed other significant conditions like hypertensive heart disease, fentanyl intoxication, y'all listen, and recent use of methamphetamine. Did you all hear what I just said? The county medical examiner added to their report the following, quote, manner of death classification is a statutory function of the medical examiner as part of death certification for purposes of vital statistics and public health. Manner of death is not a legal determination of culpability or intent and should not be used to usurp the judicial process. Such decisions are outside the scope of the medical examiner's role or authority. If you don't sit your funny looking self down, do you see how they lie to you in fancy terms? Always pay attention to how your open enemy operates and moves. Are you all hearing me today? Listen. Floyd died, as we know, on Memorial Day following an encounter with the Minneapolis police. Now listen to this. I want you to hear directly from the medical examiner who the family had to hire privately to get the truth. Do you all understand now the importance of vetting whenever your open enemy speaks? If they're moving their mouth, you should assume that the 465-year-old open enemy is lying. You should assume that the 5-century liar, every time they open their mouth, they're lying. Even if there are elements of truth in it, just understand they're just going to try to construct it in a manner that benefits them. Shout out to you, Silent D Production, for your gift. As you've discussed before, the open enemy is in all forms, bringing that flame. Thank you, beloved. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. I want you to listen to a little bit of what they said during the press conference. That is the medical examiner that the family hired. By the way, I'm told that the medical examiners and the doctors that were on this case, the ones that the family hired, is said to be the best in the industry. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips to balance in favor of fair use. Listen. By the way, I'm drinking my little mug from our mug that you can get, our Fly Nubian mug that you can get at shopfnq.com. That's shopfnq.com. Let me get ready to cue this for you because I want you to hear directly from one of the doctors. There was a black female doctor as well as a white male doctor who was involved in this and the autopsy's findings. Attorney Bob. I want to cue it first. And attorney voice. Here we go. This is important. Invited to and put it in context as only the great Dr. Michael Biden can. Dr. Biden.
Thank you, Ben. The autopsy shows that Mr. Floyd had no underlying medical problem that caused or contributed to his death.
Did y'all hear that?
This is confirmed by information provided to Dr. Wilson and myself from the family. He was in good health.
Let's stop right there. Did you hear what he said? There were no underlying conditions that contributed to his health, to his death, right? So whatever they're saying out there, whatever underlying conditions that they said that he had, none of that had anything to do with his death. Of course, we knew that. The thing that your open enemy is exceptional at doing is trying to make you believe that you did not see what you actually saw. A lot of folks say that the devil is a liar. And sometimes you giggle after you say that. No, the devil is a liar for real. That's the nature of the devil. You see that every single day of your life for the past almost 3.5 years in the White House. You see that coming from Donald Trump in a very explicit way. Of course, this has been taking place long before Trump got in office. But it's even more clear now more than ever because he's not even trying to hide his lies. Keep listening.
Excessive pressure of the neck and back are not seen at autopsy because the pressure has been released by the time the body comes to the medical examiner's office. It can only be seen, serious compressive pressure on the neck and back can only be seen while the pressure is being applied, or when, as in this instance, it is captured on video. And in this instance, we can see after a little bit less than 4 minutes that Mr. Floyd is motionless, lifeless, and when the EMS arrived and put him on the stretcher without any CPR at that time, during the ambulance trip, he did not respond to CPR and did not respond to cardiac shock. The cause of death, in my opinion, is asphyxia due to compression of the neck, which, as Mr. Crump indicated, can interfere with blood flow and oxygen going to the brain, and compression of the back, which interferes with breathing. When he said, "I can't breathe," unfortunately, many police are under the impression if you can talk, that means you're breathing.
Listen.
That is not true. I am talking and talking and talking and not breathing in front of you. So the concept that a person says, "I can't breathe," like Mr. Garner, like in this instance, means you should take it seriously. And I think that I finished. Thank you.
That is very important. Now let us pay attention to this. We are in such a white supremacist system that's deeply entrenched in lies because, as you all well know, this country is based on a lie. It's being sustained and nursed by liars and lies. You always have to double check, vet, when your open enemy is moving their lips. If they're breathing, assume they're lying. Many folk at the time of Dr. Martin Luther King's assassination would have been shocked to know that it was a U.S. government that schemed to kill our brother. But decades later, when the truth came out with a whole lot of facts, and you found out there were multiple layers to Dr. King's murder, and the U.S. government killed him, murdered him, it's still shocking to me when we find out using documentation that buying through the FBI, buying through the CIA, and other state and local law enforcement agencies and investigatory agencies, you find that the government on multiple levels, their goal was to disrupt and destroy Black folk and Black powerful nationalist organizations. When you find evidence that they specifically used propaganda, which is lies, when you find that they use media to create an image and stereotypes and lies about people that they were threatened by, Black men and women that they said that they were concerned could electrify and unify Black folk in America, even though we have a preponderance of evidence proving that they continuously lie and make up things. It's amazing to me how Black folks are the main ones that still keep giving this beast the benefit of the doubt. The white man alone and his systems are not only the problem, they're not the only ones that contribute to our oppression. You contribute to your oppression because of your slowness. I need some turtles in the comment section. Because of your slowness. Somebody talk Black to me. Because of your slowness. You help to contribute to your own oppression because your failure to recognize your open enemy for who they are, and the fact that you keep giving them the benefit of the doubt means you're losing time. How many of you all know that a medical emergency requires fast action? I'm not just talking about in the lynching of our brother, George Floyd. How many of you all know that if somebody is having a heart attack, they have what they call the ambulance? If you're at a different location, they call 911. The ambulance breaks normal traffic laws, right? To get to you quickly. They move with speed. They don't follow the regular traffic speed, right? They accelerate. Why? Because they know that time is of the essence. And if they don't move quickly, what's going to happen? It's the same with the slowness of our people in terms of Black liberation. You think you've got all day. You think you've got 3 and 4 and 5 more years and a couple of more elections to let this open enemy of yours continuously run rampant and buck wild and untamed. You're moving like you can afford to yawn and relax and take your time dealing with this open enemy. People are saying that the George Floyd case, the Ahmaud Arbery's case, the Breonna Taylor's case is a turning point in America. They said because it was captured on camera and because of the type of murder. But Black family, can I just say this? That's true. But I'm saying for Black folk, you didn't need no video camera to be outraged. Shows like this one have constantly been pointing to the seriousness of the times. White folks are acting like it's a turning point because they're caught red-handed with the videos. They want to continue to operate undercover. It should never have taken that for you to discern the seriousness of the times. You should always assume that something is awry and amiss when your open enemy is breathing and every time they're talking. Now, let me discuss this other element of this story before I quickly finish this. Thumbs up, family. Like and share. We know the notifications didn't go out. Someone went live just before me. We're doing back-to-back shows. Don't forget to meet us at 3 p.m. Eastern for a special tribute where we're going to say the names of some of our fallen brothers and sisters on flynubianqueen.com on Facebook. That's 3 p.m. Eastern time. I'm going to be on a panel with a couple of other queens. Watch this. I want you to listen to this. Let me pull this article back up. As you keep giving us thumbs up, liking and sharing. Don't forget to text the word Queens to 31996 so that you're able to receive phone notifications when we go live. Thank you so very much. Now, this particular article I'm reading from CNN. The link has been in the chat earlier, at least. I don't see it now, but I need to read through this very quickly. This article that was released a couple of days ago from CNN, the title says, Independent Autopsy and Minnesota officials say George Floyd's death was homicide. And that's exactly what it is, homicide. We know that was what the first one showed, homicide, but it used flowery medical language and it gave all types of legal disclaimers and so forth so that you wouldn't draw any conclusions that it was actually murder, outright murder. Listen to this. As you know, I mentioned before, the county said that fentanyl and methamphetamine use were among, quote, significant conditions. Pay attention to that. The county examiner placed an emphasis and said that methamphetamine and fentanyl were among significant, quote, significant conditions. But its report didn't say how much of either drug was in Floyd's system or how that may have contributed. So they're trying to make our brother look like he was a drug addict. You've got to say to yourself, number one, the devil is a liar for them to try to emphasize that, to make it appear that that was the reason why our brother died. That's number one. Number two, even if he was a buck wild drug addict, America, you're the maker of drug addicts in our community. Somebody talk black to me. And number three, really, I should say, the reason they felt that would fly is because they know that using media over a sustained period of time, they have successfully stereotyped and labeled black folk as thugs and drug addicts, the maker of drug addicts, the ones who push drugs into our communities, the one who criminalized us for being drug addicts, the ones who made laws to make sure they entrapped you and warehoused you and forced you on the modern day plantation. They know that if they throw that out there, they know that deep-seated mindsets about our people already exist in mainstream America. So they know that by putting that in there, that's automatically on a subconscious level going to work in their favor. But somebody say, thank God for the black grassroots. Thank God that we have alternative shows like this one. Our voices are being lifted where we're going to constantly expose this liar. I told you we're going to continuously expose this man of sin. That's written in scripture, 2 Thessalonians. It says that before that day comes, before the great falling away, before the apostasy, that the man of sin is going to be revealed. That means that you may have been existing with an enemy in a way that you didn't even know you were. This man of sin is being revealed. And I'm trying to tell you that by and through the county medical examiner's office that's supposed to be working on behalf of the people is a part of that demonic enterprise. Lord have mercy. Somebody talk black to me. Listen. Quote, whether or not he was intoxicated or had medications in his system is irrelevant to the cause of death, which is homicide, which is death by the hand of another, Floyd family attorney Antonio Romanucci told CNN. The end result, which is George Floyd's death, would not be any different. Floyd was 46, was essentially dead on the scene on May 25th when Ben Crump, an attorney for the family, said being Crump, an attorney of the family. Watch this, family. Multiple videos, as you all know, of Floyd's death show former police officer Derek Chauvin's knee on Floyd's neck, along with other officers kneeling on his back. The officer had his knee on Floyd's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds in total, and 2 minutes and 53 seconds after Floyd was unresponsive, according to the criminal complaint against Chauvin. Shout out to you, Dakota, for your gift. Dakota says, expose these liars, Queen. Yes, beloved, I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Thank all of you for supporting Black media. Listen, I want you to think about that, family. This once again lets you know the deep and problematic nature of our 465-year-old opponents. Because for another almost 3 minutes, when Floyd was unresponsive, that contracted assassin, that terrorist, still had his knee on his neck after he was unresponsive for nearly 3 minutes. And so instead of all of these different systems, the police department, the DA's office, the medical examiner's office, and the media being completely and totally unified in outrage, those systems are activated to find ways to defend and cover up the enforcement arm of white supremacy. Do you all hear me today? The original prosecutor on this was slow to bring charges, threw doubts out there as if it wouldn't be, as if to say it's going to be not possible to really have a successful case against them. So the DA's office originally was activated to defend them. The prosecutors. We know law enforcement itself was already defending him because nobody intervened during the murder of our brother. In fact, they participated in the murder of our brother. Think about these different levels of government that conspired and schemed together. And you pay all of these different people. Your taxpayer dollars put their children through college. Your taxpayer dollars pays their mortgages, puts gas in their car, food on their table. It allows their white supremacist wives and girlfriends to get their nails and hair done. Somebody talk black to me. That's right, beloved. A 17-year-old teenager is the one that originally that caught it on camera. One of the main ones that caught it on camera. We know other footage came out later. But think about how it took a 17-year-old, watch this, citizen journalist. Do you understand how powerful we are now, Black family? Just with our phones. It took a 17-year-old child to combat all of these different levels of government. The examiner's office, the prosecutor's office, law enforcement, and mainstream media. It was someone on the grassroots. And it's my prayer that that 17-year-old child is being protected. Shout out to you, New Beginnings, for your gift and others. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Think about how you matter. And how, if it wasn't for you, who knows if that particular child's phone bill, what if that child's phone bill wasn't even paid up on time? What if that child may have even been on punishment and their mother or father threatened to take the phone away just a few days ago for doing something wrong? That child might be totally upstanding and a totally obedient child. I'm saying, what if all of these things existed? It didn't matter. In that moment, they did something that was important. They did something that was powerful. Oh, Goon, you said, what's your cash app? Beloved, I don't usually say all that on over the air. My moderators will give you my cash app. Thank you so much, beloved. Thumbs up, family. Those of you that are supporting the network here and those of you that have been a blessing to me personally, make sure that you keep giving us a thumbs up. Be sure to like and share. We know that the notifications haven't gone out, beloved family. We've been having back-to-back shows today, and you know how they do the Vicky show on a regular basis, but that's okay. You know, I believe at the right time, the right people will hear our broadcast. I'm doing an early edition today of the Vicky show. Please, on the count of three, for those of you that haven't, on the count of three, for those of you that haven't, hit that notification bell, would you? 1, 2, 3, thumbs up, and hit the notification bell. I want you to think about the rise of Black folk. Our rise is such a threat to white supremacy that they activate They're medical scientists and doctors and experts. You got to understand that white supremacy is no longer functioning solely with white capes and white robes and a bunch of hillbillies with missing teeth. They have on blue uniforms, black robes, and white jackets. Some of them with stethoscopes and others with pens in their hands, working as scientists and experts and doctors. Those are the white supremacists. They're working undercover now. You've got to recognize them, and you can't give them the benefit of the doubt anymore. And some of us expose them on a regular basis. Some of us, we're your watchmen. We cry loud and spare not. The reason America is freaking out right now is because America has boasted to the world that she is the best, that she is the most upright, she is the most outstanding, she is the smartest, she is the richest. But now the world is seeing the weaknesses in America's foundation. She's being exposed. She's being exposed. Are y'all hearing me today? Watch this. The independent autopsy's findings came after the county medical examiner found no physical findings. That's a quote. The medical examiner, quote, found no physical findings to support a diagnosis of traumatic asphyxia or strangulation. Somebody said the devil is a liar. They use fancy medical terms to tell you that what you saw wasn't what you saw. Think about the other areas of your life where you've given this racist nation the benefit of the doubt, but they were actually conspiring against you officially, just like Donald Trump is, just like his administration, just like the government is, just like the FBI, just like the CIA and others. Are y'all hearing me today? You not only have the McMichaels who are unofficially lying about what took place with our brother Ahmaud Arbery. But we find later that the reason why they didn't initially charge them, even though they murdered our brother months ago, is why? Because we found out that they're helping to cover up the murder, that they had connections with law enforcement. We found out, in fact, that it was an actual active law enforcement officer that texted the homeowner and made it known that a local vigilante, a local white suspected white supremacist would do the job by checking out his home. That is one of the reasons why we've also have had quite a bit of success during this holy uprising, because a lot of our people said, forget your systems. A lot of our people says, since the system isn't working for us, we're going to go outside the system and we're going to deal justice another way. Shout out to you, Vanessa, for your gift. I bless your gift 1,000-fold. Vanessa said, preach, queen. Thank you. Listen, they're tripping because we're not paying their laws any mind. They're tripping because we're not staying within the confines of their unjust box. Your lawmakers, as I've told you so many times, are your lawbreakers. And because you're no longer respecting and abiding by their laws and rules, because they don't have respect for their laws and rules, they're panicking now because black folk have been sleeping for a long time. We were the only ones that showed any respect for their rules. White folks came out with AK-47 violating all kind of COVID laws that they weren't supposed to be just going out and about. White folks been breaking their own laws. And when the white woman broke the law and opened up her salon, what happened? The white folks who imposed and made the law in the first place, including the governor, they rescinded their own law to back Becky. While they put you in jail and while they gave you a bunch of citations and while they assaulted you, black folks, we're the only ones that's been tricked to follow and respect their laws and rules and regulations. But they don't even follow their own rules. And the second and the moment the law puts them in a negative position, or they have a surprising consequence, they change the law. Or they put an unjust judge, they put an unjust prosecutor, they put an unjust police officer in position so that they get away, watch this, with murder. Shout out to you, Delene, for your gift. I bless it 1,000-fold. Thumbs up, family. Keep liking and sharing. My name is Vicki Dillard. Follow me on Instagram, would you, at Vicki X Dillard. At the bottom of your screen, there should be a share button. Hit the share button, hit copy the link, and share that link out on your social media platforms and tell them that the Vicki Dillard Show is on early today on FlyNubianQueenTV.com. By the way, my show is often played on other platforms. If you're watching us on other platforms, whatever your button is to like and to share, be sure to like and to share on whatever other platform you might be watching us on right now. Thank you so very much. Listen, think about that. The independent autopsy's findings came after the Hennepin County Medical Examiner found no physical findings to support a diagnosis of traumatic asphyxia or strangulation. Some say the devil is a liar. But the new autopsy showed how local government officials are liars. Black family, let me tell you something. We must continue the outrage of these different levels of government that's involved in a cover-up. Use that language. This is a cover-up. This is government scheming against black folk to justify modern lynching. You use the word cover-up. And even though, yes, that's great that the new AG Ellis is on the case now. That's great that all of them are now arrested and facing charges. But you still need to keep the pressure on the medical examiner's office and the prosecutors We ought to be talking about how charges can be brought against some of them. What levels of accountability are in place for covering this thing up in the first place? That's what we need to be looking into. Remember how many times have I told you, I agree with other members of Black media, that Black folk, we need to start our own investigatory agencies. I told you, I don't care if we call it the BIA, Black Intelligence Agency. We need to do a lot of that work offline. We need to use whatever Black assets we have in place. We need to use whatever Black assets we have in place. I'm not telling anybody to violate any laws, but we need to make sure that you understand that we're at war, and Black folk in whatever levels. I don't care if you're working for the legislature. I don't care if you're working in the White House. I don't give a doggone if you're working in other forms of white mainstream media. I don't care if you're working in education. I don't care if you're working in arts and entertainment. Whatever area of life you're working in, whatever areas of people activities that you're involved in, be one. Black first. And you better make sure that you're using your brilliance and your intelligence to support the interests of Black people. And then we need to make sure that when we get a good hot tip, we need to make sure that when you get good inside information, that the first people you run to is not white mainstream media. You come to Black media. And I'm not just saying the Vicky Show. There are other large Black platforms, alternative areas of media that you can go to that have a larger staff. I'm a one-woman show in essence. Thank God the ancestors back me. And thank God for the help. My medical assistant, who happens to be my family member, that helps me keep myself together physically so that I can do this daily for you. But when you get a good hot tip, quit getting so excited that you go run tell CNN or MSNBC or ABC or CBS or Fox News. You come tell Black media first. You give us a chance to broadcast it first. They're listening to us anyway. They're getting their talking points from us anyway. They're getting our talking points because they're losing their ratings. They're losing their viability. They're losing relevance. They're being exposed. So they're taking stuff that we're saying and they're trying to repackage it so that they can maintain relevance. This is a cover-up. The government has plotted officially and unofficially. How many of you all remember who Carolyn Bryant is? Carolyn Bryant was the accuser for Emmett Till. Sarah Page, who is Sarah Page? Sarah Page is that white woman who instigated that whole mess in Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, and set that whole town on fire. Caused Black death, Black murder. Why am I bringing them up? I'm trying to show you how your open enemies, how white supremacy, they lie officially and unofficially. They work together and they activate this system of white supremacy. So once a white woman lies, for example, in those cases, or in Kobe Bryant's case, or in Ahmaud Arbery's case, or in Breonna Taylor's case, notice how they always lie. The police lie. They get one of their friends, or if it's a vigilante that's not officially a part of law enforcement, they lie. Unofficially, meaning that they're not officially a law enforcement agent or officer. But then law enforcement, the prosecutor's office, the courts, those that are official governmental entities that are supposed to be working on behalf of the people, they lie officially. It's a scheme. Somebody talk Black to me. And it's your taxpayer dollars that's paying for it. Now, let me say this, and I got to go. Thank those of you that ended up coming on, even though no notifications came out. I'm doing another early show of the Vicky Show, and someone else came on before me. So that apparently sometimes messes with us being seen. But we know that later at the right time, the right people will hear this broadcast. Make sure that you like it. Make sure that you share. Make sure that you do your part so they'll know that the Vicky Show came on early today on FlyNubianQueenTV.com, the network for melanated women like you. Listen, I want you to think about this. If they do this, if they did all this scheming, this cover up, this lying, this conspiring, in a high profile case like this one, y'all, where they knew a lot of eyes were watching them, that tells you, number one, they still thought that they could get away with it, even though they know a lot of people are watching them. That's number one. Number two, it lets you know if they're doing this in such a high profile case like this one, what are they doing regularly in everyday cases? Why aren't we listening to the cries of our Black brothers and sisters who tell us that they didn't do something, or that tell us that there's a shady prosecutor that's trying to pile on charges, or they're using a lying snitch, or they're using faulty evidence? If they are going to do something like this in a public, high-profile case such as George Floyd, and they know that the world is watching, what do you think they're doing in everyday cases? How many of y'all know that there was articles out there saying that our brother once had coronavirus, that George Floyd had coronavirus? They're throwing all that out there to make you think all these things are what caused his death. They're telling you he had all these other preconditions. Let me tell you something. I had this discussion with one of my Twitter followers. Listen, shout out to intelligent Black people. One of the things that was discussed with me on Twitter, and someone had said this after I had posted this, about all of these different distractions they're trying to put out there, these red herrings they're trying to put out there. I posted this a few days ago, and someone responded with this. They're coming up with all of these pre-existing conditions that they said that he had, right, to justify his own death. They're blaming him for his own lynching, his own murder. Watch this. Regardless of what they say about all those preconditions, not only did I just play for you a legitimate doctor who does autopsies that just debunked that lie. What we know is that our brother opened up his mouth and said he can't breathe. What we know is he told you what you was doing was about to cause death. Do you all know that they said that he cried out for his mother, and they said his mother has been dead for some time? Do you all know that someone also said that when it got so bad, he said, "I'm gone, y'all"? Where he practically eulogized himself. He said he knew he was getting ready to die. He said, "I'm gone now." That was the precondition. But we also know there's a greater precondition that's a problem. The precondition of white supremacy. That's not notated in the medical examiner's autopsy. How white supremacy kills. But thank God we're waking up. Thank God we're pushing back. Thank God for the holy uprisings that are occurring. Thank God for the awakening of our people. Thank God for the assistance that we're getting in the seen and the unseen realms. Now is our time. These are birthing pains where we're getting ready to birth a new world Black family, where we're not going to be the tail anymore. We're going to be the head. We're not going to be below. We're going to be above. I got to get ready to go, family. It's almost time for me to join the other queens on FlyNubianQueen.com on Facebook. Join us there as we get ready to do a special where we're going to call out the names of our brothers and sisters who have been lynched and murdered in America. Join us, flytobequeen.com on Facebook here at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. My name is Vicki Dillard. Thank you for tuning in to an early show today. Make sure that you share this broadcast out because we were shadow banned briefly and the notifications did not go out. We know that's not unusual for the Vicki Show. We love you to pieces. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. Don't forget there are other queens here as well. So make sure you hit the notification button, hit all notifications so that you don't miss their content as well. I came to you in peace. I leave you in peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. Ma'at Hotel. Namaste. Free the land, beloved.